Hello everyone and welcome to your second royal reading today here at MadWorldTarot, and we are still looking at the Sentebale fiasco, and goodness, I think we're going to be looking at it for a while. Tarot of the Abyss on the tarot table, a dark tarot. I'm going to be looking at the damage to brand Sussex of the allegations that Dr. Sophie Chandauka has made on Sky News today. She was interviewed by Trevor Phillips and she had a lot to say. She didn't hold back. Some very startling things. She said the number one risk for Sentebale is the toxicity of its patron's brand. She's talking about the financial problems at Sentebale, the fact that they couldn't raise funds when Harry left the UK and moved to, well, first Canada and then California, that things all unraveled at that point. And she said that the controversy surrounding Harry since his move to the United States has impacted on the charity's ability to fundraise. And she goes on to say that they lost major sponsors. The first one that they lost was while they were still in the UK, the Parkhalls. That was Audi. Audi had traditionally sponsored a polo event for Sentebale. It was a very popular event. According to Charlotte Griffiths, they were talking about it on Palace Confidential, the Daily Mail's YouTube channel. She was explaining how it was a kind of fluid arrangement, just like the Brits like to have, especially those sort of upper crust ones where you don't formalize things that would be tacky. It's understood how things operate. And so Audi sponsored this event, and then the rich ladies who lunch would go and buy some very fancy Audi, and it would all go like that, apparently. But Meghan came along and Meghan said, why is this like this? It needs to be formalized. Audi needs to pay £1 million up front to the charity. And Audi said, thank you, but no thank you. And that was the end of that. That was the first one that disappeared. There have been others, according to Dr. Chandauka, people, organizations, families who were very happy to support Harry and Sentebale have disappeared, and it's become increasingly difficult to fundraise. And so we're going to have a look at this allegation with the Tarot of the Abyss that the brand Sussex is now so toxic that they can't be used to fundraise. If they're associated with a charity, then nobody is interested. People ask questions, they want to know, and then they don't sign on the dotted line. They decline to sign. It's difficult for Sentebale. We speculate that there's similar problems with the Invictus Games. We're not going to look at that right now because some big names have left the Invictus Games recently. But just generally for Meghan, for As Ever, for her shopping channel that she's opened up, the affiliate links that she's got going, As Ever, her podcast, her Netflix show, Harry, he was giving a speech the other day, Better Up. I mean, who needs this? If you have a mental health app and then you've got someone who's allegedly so toxic that people aren't prepared to give money to the charity that he founded 20 years ago, you can just imagine the carnage, the fallout. So we're going to look at that now. Celtic Cross coming out from Harry and Meghan's point of view. Brand Sussex. What are the implications for them? What are they going to do in the immediate aftermath of these allegations, and how's it going to go forward? And we look at each of them individually, Harry and Meghan, and see how they feel and how it's impacting them personally. This story, it really is quite shocking. Remember, it's tarot, it's entertainment, it's my opinion, it's speculation, just energy I read here. Disclaimer in the box below, very important that you read it, especially when we're dealing with these kind of quasi-legal stories, and you do your own research and you form your own opinions. At Tarot of the Abyss, Celtic Cross, the toxicity of brand Sussex from Harry and Meghan's point of view. How bad is it? What's going to happen? Let's see. We got the King of Wands. That's PR. that is how they saw themselves, how I think they still see themselves as King of Wands. These are, the King of Wands, very charismatic, very theatrical, very dramatic. Wands are PR. And so there is a PR battle going on right now. They have just appointed a new person, well, Meghan has, for Archie Well and herself, and now we understand why a new person was needed to be brought on board. So very strong, I think we're going to get a very strong counter briefing with that as the underlying energy. Harry was the one that, according to Dr. Sophie, came out guns blazing. He came out first and made these allegations. He went to the press first. That's King of Wands. I'm innocent. I'm the hero. I'm the one who did no wrong. I was trying to defend my charity, but in the end, I had to support the Board of Trustees when they stepped down, and I too, sadly and with a heavy heart, had to step aside from the charity. That's our King of Wands, with the spin, with the taking the not taking the advantage, but with going first in something. The King of Wands would want to be first in things and taking the lead, taking the initiative. That's the word that I'm trying to scratch around for. Situation from Harry and Meghan's point of view. Brand Sussex, the toxic brand Sussex. Seven of Cups, still in cloud cuckoo land. You can see it quite literally. It's a very good depiction of the energy of the Seven of Cups, which is this fantasist delusion energy. It's Neptunian energy. It's denial. It's self-deception. Still thinking that you're okay, that everything is great. You have all these possibilities, not seeing that you really are quite detached from reality. I mean, this person isn't even grounded. Their feet aren't even on the ground. And that is where Harry and Meghan are. Still absolutely deluded, still believing their own narrative, their own spin, their own, I would even call it grandiosity in this context. And that, of course, is my opinion and my inexpert opinion. The problem for Harry and Meghan right now. What is it? 10 of Wands. How many more blows can we withstand? How many more difficulties are coming our way? It's getting very lonely out there. The burdens are getting heavier and heavier. It's getting more and more difficult to go up that greasy pole. This person is on a journey. They're struggling along all by themselves. They've got a destination in mind, but will they reach that destination as these burdens get heavier and heavier? At some stage, you just want to quit. Meghan is not a quitter, as far as we have ever heard. If she's going to quit something, she's only going to quit it because she's found something better. So let me reframe that. She is a quitter, but only when it's to her advantage to quit. Say, for instance, a marriage to Trevor. Harry is the one who's going to quit in that 10 of Wands. If anyone's going to give up and say, hands up, I surrender, I can't do this anymore, it's going to be Harry. And if she's going to have to manage this situation, she's going to have to manage him and his response and how he handles this calamity that has now befallen. That's my opinion, and of course all of this is my opinion. What's going on behind the scenes? What is at the root of all of this? What don't we see? What don't they see? Whatever we want to find out from here. We've got the Ace of Swords. This is truth-telling. That is Dr. Sophie Chandauka, who has come out and told it like it is. Absolutely, and unexpectedly. Swords are always quite ferocious and swift moving. They are truth-telling when they are upright, even though that sword in the artwork is pointing down. The card is upright, the sword is upright, really energetically it's upright. The sword of truth. It's a declaration. This is my truth. This is what I'm saying. This is what I believe, what I stand by, what I stand for. She's been very clear about it. It's interesting. It's female energy in that Ace of Swords. Interesting also the hair and all of that. That's what we're dealing with. That's the reason for this calamity from Harry and Meghan's point of view, from Bran Sussex's point of view. What are their eyes on? What's their goal right now? What are they focused on right now? They're focused on King of Pentacles. They're focused on making Harry look good. They've got to prop him up. They've got to make him look like he's the good guy in this situation. We've already got King of Wands. We've got double king energy in this reading, upright. You've got to make it seem like Harry is the reason why Senta Bali has endured this long. Dr. Chanduka was very clear to say Harry hadn't even bothered to visit Lesotho in over 5 years. He only visited because she asked him to. It was obviously quid pro quo. He used her in New York when he was trying to rebrand himself as a humanitarian after the flop of Netflix, and he was in New York in September, October. He was doing that whole look at me, I'm a global, I'm a statesman, I'm a humanitarian, quid pro quo, I should imagine. And he has got to make it look like, no, I was the one, the only reason Senta Bali ever got any money was because of me and my connections, and I'm the stable influence, I'm the rock that this charity was built on. Sorry to abuse that metaphor, but it just came to me because of those mountains in the background. And so that is everything. All hands are going to be on this project now of making Harry look good and stable and prosperous and valuable and committed and dedicated and all that stuff. The spin, I can hear the spin, I can hear the sound of it as they all just about go crazy trying to fix this from a PR point of view. So where have we been recently? Recent past, what's been going on? We got the Temperance card. It's them trying to look at angelic and aren't we good and aren't we humanitarians and see all the awards we've got because we're so wonderful and we're just the dearest, sweetest couple who go around spreading love and healing and showing up and doing good. That's the Temperance card. That was how they portrayed themselves. Of course, we've heard very different stories from Vanity Fair, from Variety, from the Hollywood Reporter, from people who worked at Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, with Harry and Meghan, particularly Meghan, people who worked in Montecito with Meghan particularly, have had things to say. But the image presented is this Temperance image. How are they going to respond? Bran Sussex, how are they going to respond to this accusation, to this blizzard of bad news that's hit them in the past few days? Ten of Swords. There's no easy way out of this. We've got two tens, and they're very difficult tens, the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is ruin, reputational ruin. Could be the end of Bran Sussex. This could be, interestingly, this could be, and I didn't want to articulate it before I saw the card, this could be the end of Harry and Meghan, this story. Just could, with the Ten of Swords. It's ruin, it's death, it's calamity, it's reputational, it's destruction of a reputation. It's no coming back from Ten of Swords energy. There's already giving up energy in that Ten of Wands potentially, and there is no comeback from this. However many PR people you hire, you're done. Let's look at them individually. Harry, how's Harry dealing with this? The toxicity of his brand, Four of Swords. It's in reverse. This is very similar to the Ten of Swords energy, the Four of Swords in reverse particularly. It's death. It's Four of Swords follows the Three of Swords, the pain and the heartache. It comes the kind of a death. It's not literal, obviously, but it's putting your sword down, surrendering to the energy, retreating, hiding, licking your wounds, wondering how you can ever recover from it, having to think those thoughts. How can I ever heal from this? I really need to do some self-examination, to reflect, to take time out to do this work. It's in reverse. This tells me that even though he really needs time out and he really needs to rethink his life, he's not going to be able to, because he's going to be wheeled out to show that he's King of Pentacles. Against his will, against everything that probably people are advising who really understand the situation and who see it much more clearly than he and Meghan do. They don't see things clearly. We see that with the Seven of Cups. They have no idea of the gravity of this. He's beginning to get an idea of it, Ten of Swords, and he will be in the near future. But he, of all people, should just go away quietly. He should say, I'm giving this all up. I'm quitting this toxic situation. I'm quitting this toxic marriage. I admit that I haven't run my charities very well since I left the royal family. Mea culpa. Sorry, everybody. I'm going to go to Africa and I'm going to do charitable works in a quiet and humble way on my own. And I'm going to have a big long think. Can't do it. Should do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. 50-50 for me energetically. All my opinion. Herself. How's she handling it? What's she thinking? Ace of Pentacles. She's still got her money on the prize. The big prize, the Ace of Pentacles. The big payday. How to pivot away from all of this mess with Centre Bali and the Invictus Games and African Trust and all the rest of it. That's Harry adjacent and that's all looking so bad right now. She needs to find a way to monetize herself and her children and her Sussex name while she still has it. We're hearing again that Prince William has every intention of taking that title away from the Sussexes. So time is short for her. She's got to make work of this situation. She's got to print some money. Ace of Pentacles. She only cares about the money. That's the energy that's coming through this reading. That is my opinion. And so she's just busy producing jam and printing money. Labels for the jam and money for herself. Got to do it because this is ending over here. This brand Sussex, the joint brand, is ending. I think. Hopes and fears for the Parkles. As a joint brand, we have another 10. And because it's in reverse, it's a bad 10. They are very worried that this is the end of brand Sussex. It's the end of the dream. It's the end of happy ever after. It's the end of the marriage. It's the end of pretend that everything's lovely in Montecito. And they did this all for love. And this is Romeo and Juliet. And we all know how that ended. So both worried that this is the end of this narrative, this happy ever after thing that they've both clung to. She, because she obviously needs to look like she's just the darlingest wife ever, because everybody has now cottoned on to how toxic she actually is, in my opinion. He, because he can't have I told you so from everybody in the whole world, basically. And so very, very worried about the end of the dream, the end of the affair, the end of brand Sussex. 10 of Cups in reverse. 3 10s on this table now. And what is going to be the outcome for brand Sussex as a result of the disaster that has befallen Centre Bali? Where are we going? We've got the 4 of Cups in reverse. 4 of Cups is rejection, indifference, apathy. That would be Harry, and Harry's indifference to what has been going on with this charity. And I suspect all of his charities. I think he went off to California. He did some surfing. He did some playing video games. He partied. He hung out. He opened fridges and consumed interesting things in the fridges. He made use of other substances that were on offer in California and forgot his duties and forgot where his loyalties lay. That for me is the 4 of Cups. It's in reverse. He's going to try to turn this around. And I said here 4 of Swords in reverse, he should disappear. He's not going to. It's a similar energy that's coming through this 4 of Cups. He's going to try and appeal to people and remind them that he was the most popular royal. And he did this for Mummy Diana. He set up Centre Bali for Mummy Diana. And just give me another chance as patron of this charity, or give me another chance as your favourite royal, and I'll do better this time, I promise. We might get some sort of Weasley. It won't be an apology because I don't think he's capable of apologising yet. But we might get some sort of show of acknowledgement of the fact that the charity has been let down. The vast announcement that precipitated all of this, that came from him and Prince Caesar, was really preempting, was really defending themselves. And there was some poor charity, you know, we did our best, but I think there's going to be more effort to poor charity and less poor me in the reasonably near future. I don't think it's going to land with anyone. I don't think it's going to work, but it is sitting on top of this King of Wands, the spin, the PR. That new PR person must be working themselves silly in Montecito at the moment, and I'm sure a whole new team has been hired behind the scenes to manage this. Flying monkeys can't do everything in this very difficult situation. 10 of Swords coming up for Brand Sussex. So that is where we are. It looks like he's realized a bit of how difficult things are. She's just interested in getting her own brand launched and making as much money as she humanly can in the short time she has left of being Meghan Sussex. That's the reading today. If you're celebrating Mother's Day in the UK, then a very happy Mother's Day to you, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.